Now, after the creation of a Firebase project, we have to create an Angular project, and in order to do that, we have to go to the directory in which we are going to create our project. We have to type cmd, as I am using command Windows, and in order to open a command prompt in the directory, we just have to type cmd, then I type enter, then I have to install Angular using using npm install -g Angular server, and wait until it's installed. As you can see here, it's installed successfully. The next step is to create the project using ng-new and the name of the project. Okay, I will call it 3 ESP 8266 Firebase Angular Firebase chart, as I will use the ESP later, the IoT module ESP8266. We wait until our project will be created. I will type yes. I will use CSS, and we will wait about 2 to 3 minutes in order to create get our project created successfully. And finally, we get this message. We are sure that our project is created. We have to navigate to it using cd and the name of our project. Then we open it using VS Code. I use this command to open the project using VS Code. Code dot. Okay. We can see here that our project is created. There are several components that we can use using ng-zorro. For example, I will use some of these components for the layout. We can choose any layout, for example this one or the other. We can see the codes here. We can copy the code or copy the command that generate the code for us, or show the code here, and based on this codes I will create my layout. Okay. And using ng-zorro, I have added some code in order to create a sidebar and the layout of our application. I will explain to you briefly the code of the layout. We used the ng-zorro, as I said. We used the nz layout and the nz cider for the cider here. Okay. And inside the cider we have to the collapsible function, and we are using is called boolean variable in order to make the collapsible possible. And inside of it we added an image of the dashboard, and an example title. For example, I used the example dashboard here. Okay, and the icon here, and the theme I'm using is the dark. And for the inline collapsed option, we are using the variable is collapsed, as I said, and when we click on it, it's collapsed. Okay. And inside our next part is the menu. Here we have a menu inside our sidebar. We are still in the sidebar, and for the items we should use the nz menu item. I'm using 3 of them as examples, and another submenu. We are using 2 submenus. The first one here, which contains the welcome and the monitor, etc., and the second one which contains the basic form. And here this is the first part, the first layout. We should add another nz layout here that contains the header, which is the button that we should click on it to collapse, and it is boolean. And we'll inverse its value whenever we click on it in order to make the collapse function in our sidebar. And here we have two options, menu unfold and menu fold, depending on the variable is collapsed. And we should not forget to add necessary modules concerning the ng-zorro modules that we have used in our HTML component. These modules are NZ icon, NZ menu, React forms, NZ layout. We should add their importations statements in the app.module.ts, as we can see here. So the next step is to add grid component based on ng-zorro grid components. So we have to go to ng-zorro, then type grid in the components section, and we can see here the details of how we can configure our grid component, the necessary syntax that we should use. So here we have each row is divided into 24 columns, and based on the value that we put, we get our partition. And for example, if you want two columns into our row, we should use column 12 two times, because 12 plus 12 equals 24. And if you want to divide our row into three parts, we have to use column 8, etc. Okay. And now I should add a grid component to my project, and to do that we simply type ng-generate component, and I will create a folder called grid, and I will put my component inside of it, and it will be called grid. Wait until it's generated. You can see that it's successfully generated inside my grid folder. After that, I have to add the ng-grid module. In order to use the ng-grid component in my project, I added its importation, and I add it into the imports list. After that, I have added some codes inside the grid HTML code, and I want later to put the chart above using all the row. And then I will divide the next row into three parts. Each part will contain some cards. And as we can see here, our grid is divided successfully. We have here above one row that will contain later the line chart, and below we have three columns. Each column will contain a card that will present some statistics that we will get after some calculations that we will perform based on the data that